Joe, do we assume, MJ1, do we assume there will be gridlock? And I'm talking about for business viewers, because that's what we're interested here. Can we assume that's the most likely outcome, and is that a positive for people as far as their money and their investments go?
Well, I think we can safely assume, unless something really strange happens tonight, that you're going to have gridlock. Because Democrats still have a shot of maybe tying the Senate 50-50. It's not likely, but they believe they can pull out Pennsylvania. They believe they may be able to pull out one or two other states and maybe waiting till December to see how the Senate turns out. But even if they pull an inside straight and still control the Senate, the House, just historically, the weight of history suggests that there's no way that Democrats can hold on to the House of Representatives. You remember back in 2018 when Donald Trump was president, Democrats didn't have a great night, but they picked up 40 seats. That's pretty massive. They have to pick up far fewer than that to take control. And if you look at redistricting this year, you look at, again, just the weight of history. Expect there to be checks and balances as we move forward. And is that good news for investors? I would think so. I mean, there's Madisonian democracy, checks and balances. It's worked pretty well for us for 240 years.
Everything happens quicker now. So we're seeing some recriminations. We haven't had the election yet, but we're already seeing some recriminations from Democrats. And I'm just wondering whether you think, was it really a messaging issue on what the Democrats focused on? Do you think if things don't turn out great today for Democrats, was it messaging, or was it really just the status quo in the state of where most people are in their personal financial lives right now when they go to the grocery store?
Yeah,
is it messaging, or is it just, things suck?
I think it's a couple of things. There are a lot of different issues that are out there. You've seen suburban voters. You've seen lifelong Republicans break Democratic over the past couple of years. But I think the Democrats have the problem of inflation. They have a problem of crime. And most importantly is how they handled both of those issues. As you know very well, the Biden administration and so many officials said that inflation was just transitory. People didn't need to worry about it. It took them too long to get connected on that issue. And except for Josh Shapiro and a couple of other talented political athletes, there haven't been a lot of Democrats that have had a good message. You look at Glenn Youngkin, Republican, of course, who beat Terry McAuliffe. He had that tax cut on groceries. Man, that's perfect when you're starting to have a spike in inflation, where even if it doesn't make a big difference in somebody's pocketbook, you're like, well, at least the guy's focusing on it. That and schools being closed made a huge difference there. Josh Shapiro is going to win big tonight because Josh Shapiro is the one Democrat. What's he talking about? Helping small business owners, helping people at the pump, doing tax rebates. That really helps. Most Democrats have been tone deaf on inflation. I think more importantly, they've been tone deaf on crime. We have a close New York governor's race because you have a New York governor who's still denying that there's a problem with crime. You keep having Democrats coming back during this cycle saying, oh, if you look at the data, crime is much lower if you take out murders, right? That's what Marion Barry said in Washington, D.C. in the 1990s when they lived there. He said, crime's going down if you don't count the murders. Well, we're actually hearing a lot of Democrats saying that. They're trying to push data on people who all have stories of how crime has impacted them, someone close to them, their businesses, someone they love. And that's going to have a real impact, Joe, in I think 3 races. New York governor's race. Yep. Maybe Hochul holds on against Zeldin. It's probably smart money that she will because this is such a Democratic state. But the L.A. mayor's race, Rick Caruso, a former Republican, man, they've got a real problem there, quality of life problem with crime. They have a problem with homelessness. They have a problem, tent cities all over the place. You have a lot of liberal Democrats that have never voted for a Republican or a former Republican talking about how they're going to pull the lever for Caruso there. And finally, and I think most importantly for Democrats, the Pennsylvania race. And the Pennsylvania race is going to be very telling on the issue of crime, because Democrats made massive gains in the Philly suburbs because a lot of people in the Philly suburbs were repulsed by Donald Trump. They didn't like him. They didn't like his style of politics. So, man, the Philly suburbs, which have always been a bellwether, they broke hard for Democrats. Well, now, guess what? In the Philly suburbs, it's kind of like people who lived out in Long Island in 89, 90, 91, 92. They're like, do we really want to go into the city? It's so dangerous, which led to the election of Rudy Giuliani. Right now, those Philly suburbs are more up for grabs because people are afraid to go into Philadelphia. And, you know, Democrats can have the debate about the DA, about some lax laws on crime, but shootings are way up, and it's going to have an impact on that race as well.